our next topic. Ooh, this is a pop diva day. So let's talk about Tamar Braxton, who apparently is being dragged on social media over debating about Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston, which she said that, if she had to choose, she's a bigger fan of Mariah than she is of Whitney Houston. So she did, this was like, and this is why I don't know. I was like, is this a slow news day? Because I didn't even know nothing about this. This apparent clip that I'm about to play happened about 3 years ago. No, 2 years ago, because it came out in 2022. So that was my fault. So, but now I'm looking for it. I was like, where is it? Okay, I got it. So, so they said that the singer, you know, got people riled up after a resurfaced clip captured her choosing Mariah over Whitney during a live taping in 2022 for the State of Black Music podcast with hosts Phil Thornton, Claude Kelly. Isn't Claude Kelly a producer? Chuck Harmony and Timon Bacon at the National Museum of African American Music. Now, Braxton was prompted after an hour interview to answer a series of this or that questions. Now, initially, she was asked to choose between Monica or Brandy, and then the panel posed the question for her to choose between Escape or Destiny's Child. Now, Child, okay, so can I play along? So now, with them two questions, if I had to choose between Monica or Brandy, I'm choosing Brandy. First of all, I've always been a Brandy fan, and I did see Monica perform at, when I worked the Nicki Minaj concert. And y'all already know my opinion on Monica and her performance at that Nicki Minaj concert when I've said it many a times when I mentioned it on the show. She's a dub. I'm going with Brandy. Brandy had bigger songs. Brandy had more of the bigger impact, and she was more mainstream. Monica, she gives me chitlin circuit tees when it comes to her music. There's no shade. That's just how I feel. Now, in regards of Escape and Destiny's Child, every man loves a woman. Okay, let me not mess with Candy. But between Destiny's Child and Escape, first of all, I was always a Destiny's Child lover. Like I remember the first time I heard Destiny's Child, it was No 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 Part 2. For the first time, it was played when my parents took me and my siblings and then a couple of friends of ours and stuff, we all went to Six Flags. And I remember that I was in Six Flags. That was the first time I heard that remix, the Wyclef Jean remix of No 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 Part 2. And that was the first time I came and became familiar. This was like what, the late 90s or whatever? 96, 97. So I will always be a Destiny's Child lover because I've always loved Destiny's Child's music. They always kept me going. Bills, 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 say my name, say my name. Bugaboo. What was it? Nasty Girl. It was we had so many bobs. Lose My Breath. Shout out to Beyonce and the girls. But anyway, so I do have the clip where she was asked to choose between Whitney Houston and her music mentee, Mariah Carey. And here's what she said. Please hold.
Whitney or Mariah?
That was the next one. Funny enough.
I've never been a huge Whitney fan like that.
As Timon had the T-shirt on.
Wait.
Devastated.
No. Wait a minute. I don't want you guys to take it out of context here. I'm not saying that I don't like her music. I'm not saying that she wasn't a phenomenal singer. I'm not saying her songs wasn't amazing. But for me, because you asked me a personal question, my personal preference will always be Mariah Carey. Period. Whitney or Mariah?
That was the next one. Funny enough.
I've never been.
Okay, so we can pause it. When you say my name. Okay, here's the thing. I don't feel like what she said was wrong. I don't think that what she said was bad. I don't think there was any shade or malice in what she said. However, I think the reason why people are so quick to get outraged against Tamar is because of Tamar's reputation. That Tamar is someone who could be very shady and very stink in the way she delivers things and the way she said in the past, and like she likes to throw rocks to hide her hand. Particularly when we talked about the other day with her and the whole K Michelle thing and how she was talking about Beyonce and country music and like a lot of black artists are getting in the whole country music space, and how she said that she didn't feel that certain people should get into country music and things of that nature. So I'm not mad at her saying what she said. I'm trying to find a good picture. Okay. I was like, I guess we could leave it there where it looked like. Which is like a schoolgirl sitting at the table. I mean, in the in the little chair. First of all, I do not like that outfit she got on, but I ain't gotta wear it. That's what she wearing. But for me, I didn't feel like personally she said anything bad. And whatever happened to people just giving their constructive criticism or liking what they like and people not getting mad over it? It's like, you know what? Whitney was what she did back when she did it, but she resonates more with Mariah. And I think it's probably because Mariah was a little more mainstream. Some people could use it as an excuse of like, okay, because she light skinned or biracial, whatever the case was, so they're always gonna push her. But Mariah's always gone hard for her black side. She has always tried to include her black side into things. Her father, the way she grew up with her music, whatever. Even though everybody tried to push her as this white girl, especially in the music industry, and people try to dismiss Mariah being a black girl. Which, there seems to be this onslaught of vitriol towards mixed race people these days. What I've been seeing, on other shows where they're debating this and people comments online with interracial relationships and stuff. Look, interracial relationships been going on since the dawn of time. I don't know why people get mad over it. Y'all need to relax or get you a man or a woman or somebody and stop worrying about who people's hunching. But apparently people on social media were pissed off about what Tamar said and suggest that it was disrespectful towards the late I Have Nothing singer who died in 2012. So that was like, what, 11 years ago? But here's the thing. How's it disrespectful to Whitney? She gave an opinion. You asked her a question. She answered it. And this is why I hate with people. It's like, y'all get mad. You ask me a question, but then you get mad at the answer. Don't fucking ask me that. Because you ain't going to like what I'm going to say. So one person put, and your personal preference is wrong. The way this sound bite started off, let me know I was about to be ticked. Well, clearly you got hearing problems. Who said that comment? Well, it don't matter who said it, because you sound stupid. First of all, how you gonna say the way the soundbite started off? It clearly showed you wasn't listening. And this is why I'd say people that watch things or go on social media, can y'all stop always letting emotions take over logic and actually listen to what people say before y'all be ready to pop off and with an attitude or whatever the case? People, y'all get too damn emotional. Maybe I'm different because, as Virgos, we're not very emotional people. We're emotional on the inside. We tend to think more logically than emotionally. So that's probably why I'm seeing it a different way than other people. Another user wrote, Whitney is the blueprint, and you can't sit on them people's stage and try to convince me that you like Mariah over her. Well, first of all, we're going to go there and talk about people as the blueprint. First of all, if one person said that there is no Whitney or Mariah, there is no Whitney or nothing. Now there can be a Whitney and Mariah or just Whitney. Child, first of all, you hurt my brain trying to even decipher what that fucking meant. But I think what the person meant was that if it wasn't for Whitney, there would be no Mariah. Well, guess what? If there was no Aretha Franklin, if there was no Patti LaBelle, if there was nobody of that ilk, there would be no Whitney Houston, because those are powerhouse singers as well that fall in that same wheelhouse as a Whitney Houston. So we're going to play that game, that we can go there too. And it has nothing to do with if this person album came out 4 years, 2 years, 6 months before this artist. We're not playing that. We're talking about, she says, guess what? I'm inspired by, this is if I had to choose, this is who I pick. This is like, I know some people get mad if somebody did. So who would you rather, because that makes it sound sexual, but who would you choose? Mariah Carey or Ariana Grande? Now, some people will probably say Ariana Grande, even though Mariah and Ariana's vocal styles, the type of music they make, is similar. And people will go and say, well, if it wasn't for Mariah, there would be no Ariana, which I guess will be true because Ariana is way younger than than Mariah. But it's a generational thing, I guess. But then again, Tamar is 46, 47, so she was aware of Whitney, but what people need to look at it is this way, and this is the way I looked at it. I look at it as it's all about relatability. She probably could relate with Mariah's music more so than Whitney. Because Mariah was more personable with her stuff. Mariah was out there, she's writing, she's composing, she's putting everything together. Mariah's giving you all of her in her music. Whitney just went in the studio and sang whatever people gave her. Whitney didn't write any of her hits. So maybe that's why it resonated with what she said. Then I said, not everyone. Well, look, I don't want to just point out the negative. There were some people that did come to Tamar's defense. Somebody said, and this is what I wholeheartedly 1,000% agree with. One person put, how are you going to force somebody to say something the way you want them to say it? That's her business. If she doesn't prefer Whitney Houston music, I get it. Musically, Whitney doesn't have the diverse catalog as Mariah, even though she's one of the greatest. It's her preference. And that is true. It's like, you know what? Here's the thing. I went and I bought, like, I was someone, I guess I'm more or less, if I had to choose, I would be more of a Mariah Carey fan than a Whitney fan. But I will say this, I bought Whitney's music and I bought Mariah's music. I didn't start buying Whitney's music until she started working with Rodney Jerkins. I can't remember what was the name of that album? I Look to You or whatever, when she did It's Not Right, But It's Okay, and she was doing that type of stuff. When she got real hood with her music, that's when I started listening to Whitney. I wasn't really into even though I grew up listening to, I Have Nothing, I'm Your Baby Tonight, although I Want to Dance with Somebody, when I remember hearing those songs when back in the day. Let's be clear, because a lot of y'all seem to got amnesia too. That's around the time when y'all was trying to sit up here and say Whitney's acting white when she was doing them poppier songs. Y'all seem to forget that when she first came out, and then the beat, what was it, the Soul Train Award, something or another was booing her because they felt like she was trying to negate her blackness because Clive had her doing them poppier songs, what is wrong with that? And then that was around the time when, also when she came on It's Not Right, But It's Okay and all this stuff. I think also the reason why I really gravitated towards Whitney because her music started getting very much gayer. With the Thunderpuss remixes of It's Not Right, But It's Okay, and all the other remixes, and the Hex Hector remixes. Like, that's why I was more or less into Whitney. So I was not really a big Whitney fan, but I was a fan of when she started going more into, like, more extravagant productions of what she was doing. And the house DJs and stuff started coming in and remixing her stuff. That was also when I started getting to Deborah Cox. I was not into Deborah Cox until she started doing, they did a whole remix of a lot of her music, which Deborah Cox will be in the same wheelhouse as a Whitney Houston. So when they did all the remixes, when Deborah Cox came out with them dance remixes, bitch, you best believe I was up in there and I bought that album. And, they actually have the whole remix thing of Deborah Cox and stuff on Apple Music. So I say all that to say, everybody calm down. Tamar has always been a supporter of Mariah, even going back to when she went on Nick Cannon's radio show in 2020 and saying that she has a admiration and a love for Mariah. And then she was asked in that interview with Nick to name her top 5 singers of all time. She said, "Your baby mother is it." Shady. First of all, how you referring to Mariah as a baby mama? But anyway, I mean, she is now, but back then she was the wife. They said, "Your baby mama got the voice of the voices. She could be number 1 through 4 if you ask me," she said before giving her list. She said, Aretha Franklin, Whitney, Fantasia, and Brandy. All phenomenal voices, by the way. And he was gagged because he said, "You're not going to say Toni?" I was like, well, first of all, Toni Braxton is like, that's her sister. So for me, I have to be biased up there and say, "Oh, my sister." Like, I don't know. But anyway, to wrap this story up, I just want to say that people, y'all stop being in y'all damn feelings every time somebody says something that y'all don't agree with. She did preface her comment by basically saying that she's not taking away from Whitney's talent. She's just saying music-wise, she vibe with Mariah more. And what's wrong with people at the end of the day giving their honest opinion about what they like? I've always said this on this show and beyond, art is subjective, and whether we disagree or disagree, people are entitled to have differences of opinion, which is what I encourage on this show. I always encourage everybody to have, differences of opinion and things of that nature. So, Tamar, I'm with you on this one. Keep going and saying what you want to say. Sometimes it's lonely. I mean, it's lonely in these streets being right or having an opinion different than from the masses. So I ain't mad at what she said, but let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.